Hey guys, welcome to BP, the Bible Perspective. Why are Christians leaving the faith? And is God the problem? Now, before we get into it, please like and share this video and subscribe to BP, the Bible Perspective. And as always, if you have a thought or comment, add it to the comment section below. All comments are welcome. Now, I came across this article where several people gave their reasons why they left the Christian faith, why they left the church, and in some cases stopped believing in God. And so I'm wondering, is God the problem? And what I found that as a common thread here, that God is not the problem. In other words, God is not the real reason why these people are leaving the faith. So what is the real reason why some are leaving the Christian faith? Let me share the article, and it's from BuzzFeed, and here is the title: Former Christians are sharing the turning points that made them leave the faith, and they did not hold back. So you can see, he said, we recently asked former Christians of the BuzzFeed community to tell what was their turning point to leave the religion. Here's some of the insightful. Here are some of the insightful stories. Person number one: the breaking point for me was when the pastor of the church I was attending went on a rant about abortion and ended with the Holocaust that is currently happening in the United States makes it look like Hitler was playing in a sandbox. Now, I have to say, what does this have to do with God? In other words, you disagree with the church, so why is God the problem here? All right, person number two: I grew up in an extremely religious Roman Catholic household. Now, from what I can read here, most of these stories, most of these people are former Catholics. Okay, and that's important because what we're going to find that people are rebelling against is Catholic guilt, Catholic ideology, the Catholic Church. He says, I grew up in an extremely religious Roman Catholic household, and right after my first suicide attempt, I had woken up in the hospital after being unconscious, and my parents were sitting in the room, and instead of comforting me or saying absolutely anything, my father just said, you do know suicide is a sin. If you had been successful, you would have been in hell. I was 15. That was the moment that I realized I would never believe in God or any organized religion. You know what is amazing to me is that, okay, if you renounce God, does your emotional pain go away? Do you not experience more emotional pain? Does life rid you of emotional pains now that you said, okay, I do not believe in God either long? And then, let me go on. Person number three. A priest told me that the reason I developed an autoimmune condition was because I wasn't living a life free from sin, and it was my punishment. He said one of those sins was wearing a short skirt, not in church, because I was tempting men to have impure thoughts. Bye church. Now, my thing with this is that I think that she rebelled against the church so that she could be free to wear short skirts. And again, God's not the problem here. And while you may say, let's deal with whether or not it is the church the problem, and I'm going to get to that in a moment when I read my last one. See, what is the theme here that she's going after? Person number four. I attended the church as a teenager, and among the many issues I had with them, there were two final straws for me which made me leave the Christian belief system. First was when the youth leader locked me in a room and yelled at me for losing my virginity. Now, I'm not for sure if this is a male or a female. Sounds like a female, but could be a male. But usually they do this to females, I think, by the way. The second was when the organized church get-together, which involved a 2-hour motivational talk from a reformed homosexual who basically told everyone that being gay is a death sentence. That killed it for me because there could have been kids there looking for guidance and acceptance, being in a situation, and they just told them they should die. Now, here is the problem with, in all four cases, actually in this article, it goes on to state, I think about 10 or 11 people that give their various reasons. And pretty much they're all kind of grievances like that. And here is the common theme. It's just things they don't like about the church. And if I want to go even a step further, it is the kind of lifestyle that they have inclinations towards that the church is forbidding them to explore. In other words, so it's not that I'm going to get to God in a moment, but the idea is that pretty much they just want to live a certain way. And without a doubt, in some of these cases, it was horrible how the church handled certain situations. But in the end, none of them said, God, I came to you. And I'm asking you, God, about these issues, about my problems. I'm coming to you. And I'm going to also say that I'm noticing the lack of humility of acknowledging the creator of the universe, their creator. See, so go beyond the flawed church. And I'm acknowledging it is flawed. I'm not a Catholic, and I would never go to a Catholic church. I don't go to most churches because of the hypocrisy. Me and my wife have certainly decided we will not be a part of just the flawedness of men. And I mean when I say flawed, not imperfections, but on purpose. And in some cases, just like you saw with the young man, they can be cruel. They can be just mean. But here's my thing. I haven't forsaken God because he's my creator. And I'm going to humble myself before him. And I'm going to say before him, Lord, you are Lord God. Your church, we have problems. We mess up. We misrepresent you. And I think the problem is what's really in a lot of their hearts of those who are leaving the faith has nothing to do with their sincerity to serve God or to even seek God, to find God, but to live in their own sinfulness. And they will pay a price for that. Because in all of that, if you renounce the church, leave the church, don't believe in God, does the world change? Now, there may be some things change for you, especially at the beginning, as you explore, new feelings, new emotions. But does the world change? See, does your mentality, your mental state, your mental trauma, your emotional trauma, does that change? And again, I'm acknowledging the church have been horrible to the point I don't blame you for leaving the Catholic Church. But what I will say is, that you're going to have to reckon with facing your Creator and saying, okay, the church is wrong, but hey, I'm going to submit myself to the Creator. And I think if you seek out the Creator, there you're going to find the answers that you long for, that you seek. You will find the answers that you need for wholeness. All right, guys, that is my perspective. Love to hear your opinions and your thoughts. Add them to the comments section below. All comments are welcome, and don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to BP, the Bible Perspective. Till next time, I'll see you then.